DJ table is one of the most prolific producers that hip hop has ever presented, the mighty Mad Lib. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip hop history. I am going to kill that.
In case you couldn't tell by that voice, Dave Chappelle was performing at the Hollywood Bowl last night, and he was, as you saw there, attacked on stage by a man with a weapon, an odd weapon. We'll get into details of that in a minute. But Dave Chappelle did return to the stage, and he tried to play it off a bit with a few more jokes. Watch more.
Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped. It was a trans man.
He of course has to go to that point as well. So Dave Chappelle returned to the stage, get some support. The guy was actually, yes, being assaulted back later on the stage and eventually arrested. And we're not gonna show, but his arm kind of went the wrong direction. Also, a point of note, Chris Rock was also there, and he did mention, as you could probably imagine, he said, "I thought that was Will Smith for a second," is what Chris Rock said. Also, and we know Chappelle's background with his trans jokes, but he decided to throw one in there because that's fun at the moment. I get he's shaking, so. Okay, so there's more details on the motive, or we don't even know the motive, more details of what happened with this particular guy. So the LA Police Department confirmed this incident, and it told NBC Los Angeles that the man was armed with a replica gun that could eject a real knife blade when discharged correctly. It's unclear if he made an attempt to use the weapon. I couldn't really tell there. It looked like more like an attempted tackle. And that suspect, who was identified as Isaiah Lee, he's 23 years old, has been charged with a felony assault with a deadly weapon, is what an LAPD spokesperson said, and his bail is set at $30,000. The LAPD said that Lee was in the audience, then jumped on stage and attacked Chappelle just as he was about to leave. The comedian was performing at that Dave Chappelle and Friends show, which is a part of Netflix is a Joke festival. Adrian. Okay, so people were speculating and worried and said this is gonna happen next after the Oscars attack, when Will Smith ran up on stage and decided to slap Chris Rock over a joke. I would have assumed this happens before. It's not like brand new that someone gets mad at a comedian on stage, but maybe the levels of this happening over and over again was actually real, and I underestimated it.
You know what? I think that a lot of people are blowing the whole Chris Rock, Will Smith situation out of proportion. People have been rushing stages since day one, which is why they actually have security. I do not know why security was not as aggressive at the Hollywood Bowl. I find that to be extraordinarily strange. That man should not have been in a position where he could have climbed on stage as quickly as he did to begin with. There's generally some distance between the stage and the crowd oftentimes, and there is security down there. So I think that this is a failure on security's behalf, and to make it more than it is, and to say, Will Smith, created this whole spark where people think they can attack comedians. I don't think that's it at all. I just think people don't know how to act coming out of a pandemic. You can't come outside and play when you've been in the house too long, and that's what's going on.
Guys, I'm glad you point out the fact that this is nothing new. There's always been hecklers, and then sometimes the hecklers go to the next step and they get on stage. We saw it again. I'm trying to remember the comedian's name, but there was a woman that stepped on stage and he just went off on her, called her Karens and all this. Even that, people feel like you have to attack, you have to pull out a weapon, you have to slap, you have to punch, you have to tackle in order for it to be an assault. Imagine you're standing on stage and someone runs up on it and you don't know what their intentions are, where they came from. It's probably dark, there's lights in your face. That's an assault in the first place. Just that they run up there just to yell at you because you don't know what's coming. So again, I'm glad this is not, that you're pointing out that this is not a brand new thing. It's just something we're paying more attention to. And whatever his motivations are surrounding Dave Chappelle, who knows? Or if it's just he wanted the attention, who knows? Or if he's upset about more trans jokes that Dave Chappelle decides to toss out there afterwards? Who knows? But I'm sure the speculation will be swirling. Again, Hollywood Bowl, maybe you should step up your security. This is definitely a black eye for you when you have someone like that performing and someone just runs up on stage. Doesn't make any sense.